Hi, Suzy Rhodes with Past Masters, here with this week's questions of the week. This week we're going to do a final exam from the Series 63 Past Masters course. So for those of you looking to take the exam to be an agent, this video is for you. Let's check out the course. Which of the following does not need to be printed on an agent's business card? The name of the agent and his or her phone number, the broker-dealer's address and phone number, the name of the administrator, or the name of the broker-dealer. Which would not need to be printed on an agent's business card? Choose what you believe is the correct answer. The name of the administrator. That is the person responsible for administering securities laws in your state. That is correct. You know you got it right because you got a green check mark. You can click Show Explanation. You can read the rationale, and you can also listen. Which of the following does not need to be printed? All of our questions have audio explanations for you. Under the Uniform Securities Act, which of the following is not considered an investment advisor representative? An investment advisor, an individual that is employed by or associated with an investment advisor that determines which recommendations or advice regarding securities should be given. That would be an IAR. An individual that is employed by or associated with an investment advisor that solicits, offers, or negotiates for the sale of or sells investment advisory services, also an IAR. An individual that is employed by or associated with an investment advisor that supervises persons involved in the giving of investment advice. Yes, so the firm is the investment advisor. The firm is not an IAR. So the IAR is the individual that works for the IA. The IA is at the same level as the broker-dealer. So the IA and BD, they're both firm level. Agent, that's Series 63. IAR is Series 65 or Series 66. When may an investment advisor place their own interests above their clients? Never, always, when disclosed to the client, with permission of the administrator. They have a fiduciary responsibility. Never can they place their own interests above their clients. Under the Uniform Securities Act, broker-dealers seeking to register in this state must disclose which of the following? The complete background of all employees, regardless of job, all misdemeanors, orders issued by other states, or the credit score of all of the officers and directors. Orders issued by other states would be the one that a broker-dealer seeking to register in this state must disclose. Which of the following is allowed? Offering discounts to certain clients without disclosing this to all clients. Unreasonable service fees. Higher than normal commissions for a thinly traded issue. Failure to disclose the commission on the confirmation when acting as an agent. The one that is allowed, higher than normal commissions for a thinly traded issue. That would be okay. Which of the following statements would be considered unlawful? 1. Stating that you are an agent approved by the administrator. Unlawful. So this is what I call a STEM question or a multiple. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D. Literally write this on your scratch paper. So 1 is unlawful, and that helps you get rid of the choices of C and D. 2, implying that a security is approved by the SEC. That is unlawful. So 1 and 2. 3, stating that once a security is cleared for sale, the SEC has verified the accuracy of the information in the prospectus. No, they haven't. That would also be unlawful. Inferring that the administrator has deemed the information in a prospectus adequate. All 4 of those would be considered unlawful statements. For which of the following persons must the firm prepare a brochure supplement? Roman numeral 1, any supervised person who formulates investment advice for a client and has direct client contact. Yes, for sure, 1. 2, a supervised person who has no direct client contact and only has discretionary authority over clients' assets as part of a team. 3, any supervised person who has discretionary authority over clients' assets, even if they have no direct client contact. 4, supervised person who has no client contact and no discretionary authority. So 1, yes. 2, no. 3, yes. 4, no. 1 and 3 are the correct answers. The administrator has the authority to govern through all of the following except orders, injunctions, laws, and rules. The administrator cannot issue injunctions, but does govern through orders such as cease and desist, enforces laws and rules. Which of the following is or are powers of the administrator? Roman numeral 1, the ability to deny, suspend, cancel, or revoke registrations. Yes. 2, the ability to conduct investigations and subpoena witnesses. Yes. 3, the ability to issue cease and desist orders. Yes. 4, the ability to make, amend, or rescind rules and orders. Yes. All 4 of those are powers of the administrator. So the people that write the 63 exam, NASA, the North American Securities Administrators Association, securities lawyers. Which of the following are included within the general prohibitions related to advertisements under the Advisors Act marketing rule? In any advertisement, an SEC registered investment advisor may not: 1, include testimonials. They may now under the marketing rule. 2, include past performance data. They may now under the marketing rule. 3, include any untrue statement of a material fact or admit to state a material fact necessary in order to make the statement made in light of the circumstances under which it was made not misleading. So 3, that is part of the correct answer. 4, be materially misleading. So testimonials and past performance data under the marketing rule are allowed for federally covered investment advisors. 3 and 4 are the correct answers to this question. It's worded kind of strange, but that's the test for you. Very, very strangely worded exam, I promise. Howard was an agent in State A. He has a misdemeanor from 4 years ago on his record. He decides to move to State B, where he applies for registration as an agent. State laws in State B consider the crime Howard was convicted of in State A a felony. How will this affect Howard's ability to be registered in State B? He will be denied registration in State B due to the felony. He will be placed on probation for 2 years in State B. He will be granted registration in State B due to the fact that the administrator can only look at the laws of the state where the crime occurred, or he will have to pay an additional fee to be licensed in State B. No, it is this choice. So when you move across state lines, the only crime that you've committed is whatever crime you've committed in the state that it occurred in. It doesn't matter if the rules are different in another state. So he will be granted registration in State B due to the fact that the administrator can only look at the laws of the state where the crime occurred. Which of the following is incorrect regarding a Regulation A offering of $5 million or less? It is an exempt security under state law. The administrator may require advertising to be filed. It is a non-exempt security under state law, or it is an exempt security under federal law. So we're looking for which is false. It is an exempt security under state law is false. A Regulation A offering must be registered in the state. The other 3 are true. All of the following are stages of money laundering except integration, layering, placement, or training. Training is not a stage of money laundering. Which provision of the Uniform Securities Act preempts federal securities law? Anti-fraud rules, general provisions, registration procedures for securities, or registration procedures for broker-dealers? Anti-fraud rules preempt federal securities law. Everything is subject to a state's Uniform Securities Act anti-fraud rules, no matter what. Which of the following would be considered an advertisement under the Advisors Act marketing rule? 1. Private placement memoranda. 2. Pitch books. 3. Private fund account statements. 4. Transaction reports delivered to private fund investors. The only one of these that may be considered an advertisement under the marketing rule is pitch books. Private placement memoranda are not considered an advertisement, neither are private fund account statements or transaction reports delivered to private fund advisors. Which is not a valid reason for the administrator to deny, suspend, or revoke an agent's registration. Being enjoined from engaging in the securities business by a court of law, failing to pay application filing fees, being in a supervisory position and failing to supervise clerical staff, engaging in dishonest or unethical securities practices. So there's only one that the administrator cannot deny, suspend, or revoke an agent's registration, and that is being in a supervisory position and failing to supervise clerical staff. If it had said registered staff, then that would have been a reason to deny, suspend, or revoke an registration. In determining the net worth for the accredited investor calculation under Regulation D, which of the following is correct? You can include the value of the assets of any adult child of the investor. No. You must exclude the value of a vacation property. No. You must exclude the value of the investor's primary residence. That is true. You can use the value of the investor's primary residence. No. So the only one of these that is a true statement, you have to exclude the value of the investor's primary residence. An investment advisor may charge both a commission and a fee with proper disclosure to the client, so long as the total isn't more than 2% of the assets under management, never or with permission of the administrator. An investment advisor may charge both a commission and a fee with proper disclosure to the client. Zach has applied for registration as an agent. Which of the following can he do while he waits for his registration to become effective? Organize the office? Sure, Zach. Want to come help me? So 1, yes. 2, post trade details to client accounts. 3, assist with research. 4, open customer accounts. Well, definitely he cannot open customer accounts. So we get rid of C and A. So organize the office, post trade details to client accounts, and he can assist with research. 1, 2, and 3. An agent can promise a client that she will resell a security at a price higher than the customer's cost basis. Never, at any time, with approval of a manager or when the transaction is unsolicited. An agent can never promise a client that she will resell a security at a price higher than the customer's cost basis. No profit guarantee, none, no loss guarantee either. An investment advisor may legally have custody of a client's money and securities in which of the following situations? When the client has given the advisor discretion over the account, if the advisor has notified the administrator and the administrator has not prohibited it, when the advisor charges a wrap fee, or if the advisor is federally covered. When is it legal to have custody of a client's money and securities? When the advisor has notified the administrator and the administrator has not prohibited it. Registration of an investment advisor automatically registers a firm's partners, officers, and directors as investment advisor representatives, investment advisors, certified financial planners, or agents. When Form ADV is filed, the partners, officers, and directors are automatically registered as investment advisor representatives. Similarly, when Form BD is filed, the firm's partners, officers, and directors are automatically registered as agents. Unless they don't act in such a capacity, then they're not. Which is incorrect about the first page of an investment advisor's firm brochure. It must include the website www.advisorinfo.sec.gov. It must state the firm's name, business address, contact information, website address, and the date of the brochure. It must include a specific brochure disclaimer. It must include the words cover page. It does not have to include the words cover page. The other three must be included on the first page of an investment advisor firm's brochure. A wrap fee is when an advisor gets paid on gains in the account only, can only be charged by broker-dealers, is illegal, occurs when one fee is charged for both transactions and advice. They are wrapped together. That is a wrap fee. David is an agent in Georgia. He has a few friends that live in North Carolina. In which of the following situations is David allowed to solicit securities business in North Carolina? When he is registered as an investment advisor in Georgia, when both him and the firm he represents are registered in North Carolina, when he is registered as an agent in North Carolina, or never. Your job is always going to be to pick the best answer. When both him and the firm he represents are registered in North Carolina is the best answer. When he is registered as an agent in North Carolina isn't bad, but firm first, then David, better answer. An agent has offered a client rescission. The client has how long to accept the offer? 6 months, 9 months, 60 days, or 30 days. So there's a mantra, 53532, RR 30 days to accept the right of rescission. If the client doesn't read the letter, they can't come back on the 31st day and sue the agent. A person engaged in the business of buying and selling securities for such person's account through a broker or otherwise is a agent, broker, dealer, or investment advisor. So they're buying and selling securities for their own account. That is a dealer. If they were buying and selling securities for their clients, that would be the broker side in an agency capacity. Dealer, also called market maker or principal transaction. Which of the following actions is prohibited? Stating material facts, failing to state all material facts, engaging in honest and ethical behavior, or failing to state all facts. Which of the following actions is prohibited? Failing to state all material facts is prohibited. Nobody has to state all facts, but all material facts, yes. Currency transaction reports are filed with FINRA, the SEC, the IRS, or FinCEN. Currency transaction reports are filed with FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. It is part of the Department of the Treasury. CTRs, we call them. Under the marketing rule, all of the following are true, except what is false. When an advertisement includes a compensated testimonial or endorsement, there are disqualification requirements. The rule does not apply to advertisements directed at prospective investors in private funds. When an advertisement includes a compensated testimonial or endorsement, there are additional oversight requirements. When an advertisement includes a compensated testimonial or endorsement, there are additional disclosure requirements. Looking for the false statement, the rule does not apply to advertisements directed at prospective investors in private funds is false. The marketing rule does apply. Which correctly describes a wash trade? When a dealer backs away from a quoted price, an investor who buys a security through one brokerage account but sells it through another, when two parties agree to buy and sell securities to create the appearance of active trading, or when an underwriter buys shares of a new issue for the firm. A wash trade occurs when an investor buys a security through one brokerage account but sells it through another. Of the following, which is not considered a supervised person of an investment advisory firm? Clerical staff, partners, investment advisor representative, or officers. Clerical staff, ministerial staff, administrative staff are not considered a supervised person of an investment advisory firm. So feel comfortable with all of those synonyms. Which of the following are required when custody is part of an investment advisory contract? 1, the client must be notified where the money is being held. Yes. The administrator must know where the money is being held. The client must be sent quarterly statements. The account balances must be surprise audited by an independent CPA annually. The administrator must know that custody is part of the contract, but it's the client that needs to be notified as to where the money is. So 1, 3, and 4. In all of the following situations, a broker-dealer would have to register in Texas, except the firm is registered in Louisiana and solicits retail business in Texas, would have to register. The firm is registered in New Mexico and has a client that is spending a few months in Texas. The firm is registered in Georgia and opens an office in Texas, would have to register. The firm is registered in Arizona and has a retail client that moves to Texas, would have to register. So the only one that they would not have to register for is the client is spending a few months in Texas. Which of the following is not an exempt transaction under state law? Isolated non-issuer transactions, non-issuer transactions in outstanding securities, unsolicited non-issuer transactions, or municipal securities. Municipal securities are not exempt transactions. Municipal securities are, however, exempt securities. Be careful. Those other 3 are exempt transactions under state law. Which of the following is or are not subject to Regulation S-P? Cookies that collect aggregate information only. Consumers, customers, institutions, which are not subject to Regulation S-P. Cookies that collect aggregate information only, and institutions. Consumers and customers are both subject to the privacy practices detailed in Regulation S-P. Gianna was an IAR for a decade. Gianna is registered in a state that adopted the IAR CE model rule in 2021. In December 2022, she left the industry without completing the 12 hours of IAR CE for 2022. Gianna decides to re-enter the industry in November of 2024. Which of the following is true in her situation? 1. She will be required to complete 12 CE hours for 2022. True. 2. She will be required to complete 12 CE hours for 2023. True. 3. She will be required to complete 12 CE hours for 2024. True. 4. Instead of completing the CE, she can retake and pass the 65 or 66. True. She could do that. Any of you want to take that exam again? I thought not, but she could. Under the Uniform Securities Act, all of the following are considered securities except precious metals, limited partnerships, real estate investment trusts, or options. Precious metals are commodities. They are not securities. A broker-dealer would be required to keep which of the following records? Tax returns of partners, officers, and directors, personal emails of agents, business emails, or tax returns of clients. The only one of those that the broker-dealer would be required to keep records of would be business emails. Perry purchased a security from Steve. 2 months after the purchase, Perry realizes that the security that was sold to him was not properly registered. Perry has how long to file a civil lawsuit against Steve and his firm? 2 years and 10 months, 3 years, 5 years, or 2 years. So we have a little mantra that we memorize for this exam. It goes 535, 32 RR 30. So $5,000 fine and or 3 years in jail, 5-year statute of limitations. Those first 3 numbers, those are all related to criminal violations of the Act. 3 years from the sale, that's for civil liabilities, or 2 years from discovery of the violation, whichever occurs first. When Perry realized that the security was sold in violation of the Act, 2 years after the discovery of the violation. So 2 years. 3 years from the sale or 2 years from discovery of the violation, whichever occurs first. An agent is not currently affiliated with a broker-dealer or issuer. This agent's registration is on pause, effective, not effective, or in escrow. If you're not with a broker-dealer or issuer, your agent registration is not effective. Which of the following is true about an agent's registration? It expires 1 year from its effective date. An agent must be registered in every state in which they have an office, have a public customer, or solicit business to the general public. Passing the exam automatically constitutes registration. Working for a broker-dealer registered in all states automatically registers the agent in all states. The only one of those that is true. An agent must be registered in every state in which they have an office, have a public customer, or solicit business to the general public. Which of the following is not true about a broker-dealer? It may be a corporation. It may be an LLC. It is an individual. It is a person. Not true. It is an individual. The other three are all true. Under the Uniform Securities Act, an agent's registration is effective when representing which of the following? Bank, 1, 2, investment advisor, 3, broker-dealer, 4, issuer. An agent can be registered as an agent of a broker-dealer or an issuer. An agent does not represent an IA, and a bank is not a broker-dealer or an IA. So, broker-dealer or issuer, those are the two places, the two types of companies that agents may represent. Broker-dealers or issuers. Under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940, a form letter sent to 100 clients would be considered an advertisement, a correspondence, social media, or exempt. Of those four, an advertisement is the correct answer. Which of the following are unethical or dishonest business practices? 1, withholding shares of an IPO. Sounds bad. 2, making unsuitable recommendations. Don't like that. 3, engaging in a pattern of unjustifiable or unreasonable delays in the delivery of money or securities to the clients. Don't like that. 4, holding free lunch seminars targeting seniors in which investment products are presented. These are all considered unethical or dishonest business practices. Under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 marketing rule, which of the following is or are considered an advertisement? 1, a form letter sent to 100 prospective clients offering investment advisory services with regard to securities. 2, a letter sent to 1 current customer offering new investment advisory services with regard to securities. 3, Form ADV Part 2B. 4, a prospectus. So a prospectus is not considered an advertisement. Form ADV Part 2B is the brochure supplement. That is not considered an advertisement, but 1 and 2. Those would both be considered, under the marketing rule, advertisements. State and federal law differs in regards to custody of clients' money and securities. Which of the following statements is correct? Under federal law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is considered custody. Under state law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is not considered custody if forwarded to the third party within 3 business days after receipt. Under federal law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is not considered custody if forwarded to the third party within 3 business days after receipt. Or under state law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is not considered custody. There's only one true statement, and that is this. Under state law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is not considered custody if forwarded to the third party within 3 business days after receipt. Under federal law, the receipt of checks drawn by clients made payable to a third party is not considered custody would be a true statement. So that is a difference between state and federal law. When an investment advisor that is state registered receives a check made payable to a third party, it would be considered custody unless it is forwarded to the third party within 3 business days after receipt. In which of the following situations would an individual selling securities for an issuer have to be registered as an agent? So for an issuer, keywords here, when selling through exempt transactions, when selling shares of the issuer to employees of the issuer on salary, when selling non-exempt securities, or when selling exempt securities. So if the individual is selling securities for the issuer and they're selling exempt securities or through an exempt transaction, or they're making a salary, there is no registration required. If they make a commission, then registration as an agent is required. Or if they sell non-exempt securities, then registration is required. A non-exempt security must be registered. The person selling them for the issuer must be registered as an agent of the issuer. Mental gymnastics. Woo! May a federally registered investment advisor include performance information in an advertisement? Yes. Yes, if they have over $200 million in assets under management. No. Or yes, if certain conditions are met. What's your job? To pick the best answer. Yes, if certain conditions are met. When may an investment advisor trade based upon inside information? With disclosure to the clients? If the information came from a reliable source? Whenever. When it is public. That's the only time that it's okay. It's no longer private information, no longer inside information when it is public. Otherwise, no trading based on inside information. Regarding the sharing of non-public information, which of the following is false? The client must opt into the sharing. The client must be allowed to opt out of the sharing. Regulation S-P permits firms to disclose non-public personal information to unaffiliated third parties. Non-public information that may be shared includes social security number and account balances. So which of the following is false? The client must opt in to the sharing. That is false. The client must opt out of the sharing. The general public can find information regarding investment advisors where? The SEC's website, FINRA's broker check, the IARD, or the CRD. The IARD is the Investment Advisor Registration Depository. So it is through this system that all of the forms are filed to be an investment advisor. In reality, it is called the IAPD, the Investment Advisor Public Disclosure, that you find the information about the firm, but IARD is close enough. The website is advisorinfo.sec.gov. If an agent realizes that they inadvertently sold a security in violation of the Uniform Securities Act, they can offer rescission. In an offer of rescission, which of the following are true? The client has 30 days to accept the offer. True. The offer must include interest. True. The client can accept the offer but still sue the agent. No. 4, after 30 days, the offer is void and the client cannot sue the agent. True. So 1 is true, 2 is true, and 4 is true. That's the mantra again. 53532 RR30. Right of rescission RR. Which correctly describes the IAR CE requirement? 1, 6 hours of products and practices. 2, 6 hours of ethics and professional responsibility. 3, it is required to be completed annually. 4, FINRA CE cannot count towards the IAR CE requirement. 1, 2, and 3. It is possible that FINRA CE counts towards the IAR CE requirement. Which of the following must be given an initial privacy notice only? Consumer, business, customer, or institution? So initial privacy notice only and not an annual notice. The consumer. If they're a customer, they get an initial privacy notice and an annual notice of the firm's privacy practices. But consumer only gets the initial privacy notice. They do not have an ongoing relationship with the firm. Which of the following is not required to be kept by broker-dealers? Books and records related to all securities transactions, customer tax returns, advertisements, articles of incorporation for the firm. Well, the broker-dealer does not keep the customer's tax returns. That'd be weird. A broker-dealer firm is reorganized. The successor firm must file a new application and pay a new filing fee, file a new application but not pay a fee until the first renewal, register within 6 months, or pay a filing fee. So the successor firm files a new application but does not pay a fee until the first renewal. They are allowed to use the unexpired portion of the previous firm's filing fee. A retail communication is any written communication, including electronic, distributed or made available to 25 or fewer retail investors, 25 or fewer prospective clients, more than 25 prospective clients, or more than 25 retail investors. More than 25 retail investors. That describes a retail communication. 25 or fewer retail investors would be a correspondence. Wanda passed the exam and submitted her application. She may do which of the following? Make sales, purely clerical activities until she is granted registration, take orders, or solicit business. Wanda can engage in purely clerical activities until she is granted registration. Let's finish the exam. Woo! We did it! 100%. Man, the law exam is a hard exam. It requires a lot of mental gymnastics. Let's view our score reports. These are all of the topics you can expect to find with the appropriate number of questions on the Series 63 exam. So regulation of IAs, IARs, broker-dealers, agents, securities and issuers, remedies and administrative provisions, communication with clients and prospects, there's a lot there, ethical practices and fiduciary obligations, the most questions found. So if you had missed any of these, it would be, let's say 9 would be red. It would show you what you had chosen and then what your correct answer is. You can read the rationale and you can always
when may an investment
listen. So if you do miss any, I expect you to learn from whatever it is you missed. It's called making a correction. It's where one of the most important parts of learning takes place. So if you learn it, if you missed it, learn it, then you won't miss it again. That's it for the Series 63 final exam. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel. It does really help. Turn those notifications on. If you have any questions at all about the Series 63, this specific exam, or in general, just ask me in the comments below. If you'd like to check out past master's course offerings or to enroll in any of our programs, there is a link found in this video's description. Keep up the good work. Happy studies. Study, 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 pass.